Good morning, crypto maniacs. It's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's big cousin, cryptography's finest, Champagne Crypto. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, Bitcoin, is this the dip? Is this the dippage that we've been waiting for? Today we'll be addressing that question. Saw a price drop of about $2,700 in about an hour out there. Always have your storm supplies ready. One in the chamber, ready to fire, just in case any funny bunnies come up. Shout out to Derek Smith. Shout out to Blockchain Susha and the rest of the boomers that are tuning into this live broadcast. And excitement on the networks this whole entire week as Bitcoin has gained tremendous weight, reaching an all-time high this year of 13,800, not before taking a dip to, seems like 11K, a little bit around 11K now. We're almost at 12. The question of the day is whether that was the dip. Are we going to expect another dippage? I want to talk about that. Yesterday we addressed that question, and many in the population of the chat box were saying there is going to be no dip. We're going straight to 30,000. But the champ said I was expecting a dip around 15K. That dip occurred at 13.8, pulling back substantially under 11 or under 10. We're going to look at the chart right now, but it was almost above $2,000 in dippage. Are we still in the dip? Is this a good time to buy? Should we wait? We're going to address all those questions as the rest of the boomers tune in. Guys, make sure you're touching the buttons for me, the like, the subscribe, the post notification bell, the ding ding. Button it up and stay tuned in to the good crypto word that we spread here daily. Things are still looking on the up and up. Just a few weeks ago, we were in the $8,000-$9,000 range. Bitcoin almost at 12K, gaining tremendous weight this week. I'm seeing new blockchain cadets entering the blockchain battlefield boot camp. Welcome. It's Champagne, the voice here with the daily boom. Make sure you touch the buttons. We're here every single morning, late mornings, early afternoon with the daily crypto word, guys. We'll be here whether things are up or down, sniping at all the baby bear cubs, dancing and prancing out there. Shout out to my snipers in the foxhole. Shout out to Derek, Blockchain Susha, and the rest of the boomers. Guys, touch all the buttons for me. Let's check out today's mathematics over there on CoinMarketCap. See how healthy things are looking before we talk about some of these headlines, price predictions, what caused this dippage, and more and more. Let me go ahead and turn off these coins, show you my screen, hit refresh so we're up to date with the latest kapump here. Today's mathematics are looking like $334 billion. We've lost some weight. Things were above 350 at one point. Bitcoin dominance is still strong at 62.5%, which seems indicates to me that people are not wanting to hold these altcoins. When altcoin season, guys, I think it's coming soon. I would say that if Bitcoin can remain stable for a few days, we'll see some of the altcoins gain some weight, including Ether and some of your other favorite altcoins. Bitcoin currently at 11,824, Ether at 309 after topping off about 350 if I'm not mistaken. Bitcoin Cash at 428, down 15%. Litecoin down 13% at $118. Guys, what's up with Litecoin? Okay, Litecoin did well before this little bull run that Bitcoin is experiencing now. Litecoin will be experiencing a halvening, I believe August 9th. I may be wrong. Sometime in August, though, where the mining rewards will be cut in half. Historically, we've seen a positive price correlation between the halvening and the increase in price. So let's see if Litecoin can do that. I would say, Litecoin could close around $200 at the end of the year at least, maybe go up a little bit more. I remember when Litecoin started booming just a few weeks ago, everybody was like, oh, it's going to 500. It's actually quite interesting in the middle of these bull runs, how bullish people could get. Just yesterday, I think people were saying there is no stopping. It's going to go to 30K. And listen, it very well may go to even 30K this year. I wasn't expecting that. But listen, on the path to greatness, there's going to be some dip dives, some peaks and valleys. And you got to be able to step on a landmine, lose a limb. And that's what it is if you want to be a cryptomaniac soldier. I want you guys not to get so romanticized, not so enamored. Don't get so much of an erection when you see these bull runs occur. Always stay vigilant out there. Have the storm supplies ready and have one in the chamber. So if it does dip, you could fire and acquire some more. Again, I'm not your crypto daddy, but if I was, that's what I would say. Bitcoin, they're at 11,824. Ripple at 309. Bitcoin Cash at 428. Litecoin at 118. EOS at 634. Binance at $34. There's nothing but blood on the streets right now. Guys, the question of the day is this the dip? Is this the dip that people would recommend to buy? So, I'm not your crypto daddy, and I want to ask the boomers out there what they think. EOS at 634. EOS losing weight as well. Binance 34. Satoshi Vision's garbage. Cardano at 9 cents. Tron at 3 cents. It seems like Cardano and Tron are going head to head for that number 10 spot. Stellar at 11 cents. Stellar dropped out the top 10. Leo at 183 at 13. Monero at 93. Monero's lost a lot of weight as well. Listen, I'm not so concerned about Monero. Monero behaves like this. It's not a boomer. It's not a doomer, but it always stays in the top 20. I would not sleep on Monero. This is looking like the truest crypto on the block. Dash at 163. Neo has been performing well, but today it's down another 12%. IOTA at 41 cents. Neo is at 17. Cosmos at 596 as the rest of the boomers tune in. Let me go ahead and show Queens Race's comment. I think you got flagged out there, Queens. C-Champ, I'm happy I swing traded my Litecoin at 140. That shit was just waiting to drop, says Queens. Yeah, let's see. I'm not a swing trader. I'm not a swinger personally, but I can see how some could do that and make some gains. So congratulations to you. Shout out to Dolphin 134. Shout out to TJ. I see you. Mark D says Litecoin took a beating. I know it did. It's actually the one that I didn't expect at all to take a beating. Now, I wasn't expecting it to gain weight like Bitcoin did, but it took a beating. So did EOS. If you want to see how much of a beating these altcoins took, go ahead and switch it to BTC instead of US dollars, because Bitcoin blew most of these coins out the water. I think the only ones that were keeping up were Chainlink and Neo, if you ask me. Stay in the foxholes, boomers, says Silver Crypto. Welcome back, Silver Crypto. The Bits is just toning up. He'll be back on his King chess beating shortly. I think you meant King Kong chess beating shortly. There was a seller with $100 million sell order on Coinbase that caused this. I heard about those coins. About $100 million of coins were moved over to Coinbase. And during that flash crash yesterday, my understanding is that Coinbase crashed along with some other exchanges. It was just way too much volume, too many people, too much. And it just crashed temporarily. Now, at the same time, Coinbase has been associated with some funny bunny when the price movements are too fast. Usually they have historically said they crashed or arguably shut down the exchange themselves. I don't know, but I've seen Coinbase act funny bunny when the price moves too fast. Mark D says, will Bitcoin touch 10K again? I don't think anybody knows, but I wouldn't be surprised, Mark. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised. Even if it does touch 10K, I still think that we're in the midst of a bull run. That's why I kept asking yesterday, when are we going to pull back a little bit? No one was, I don't think anybody was seeing a pullback, but even in a bull run, there's some valleys. There's peaks and there's valleys. Those valleys probably are not as, deep as they are in bear runs, but they occur even in bull runs. So will it touch 10K? There's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised. Last week I was calling for a 96K correction. $9,600 correction. That didn't occur, but I still think that anything's possible. ETH held strong relative to other big caps. ETH did okay. It still lost weight against Bitcoin. Looking at how these coins performed against Bitcoin, I wish I had my whole entire bag in Bitcoin, really. I usually say your bag should have about 50% of Bitcoin in it. Right now, the market says about 62, but looking at the way things panned out this week, I wish I had 80, 90% in Bitcoin. But you can't get them all right? These Bitcoin swings are happening in minutes. I'm scared to even try and swing trade, says Blockchain Susha. Yeah, I understand. I'm not a swinger. Okay, personally, I wouldn't get caught out there trying to swing back and forth, but I do see that some people win on that. But you got to be patient. Timing the market is a risky game. I wouldn't do it myself, but I've seen people be successful doing it. And BitTrue was hacked for large amounts of Ripple and Cardano, says Blockchain Susha. Absolutely. So not only did Coinbase go offline, but there was another exchange called BitTrue. And yeah, they got hacked. Now, my understanding is that BitTrue is going to make good and return the money. I think they're going to take the loss, sort of like how Binance handled the last hack. So that's a good thing. Champ, on Binance, volume shows like 2 billion. That's a lot of trillion. And yeah, Coinbase went down for 15 minutes, they say. But when they went down, that 100 million happened. Yeah, you know, that's why I say sometimes Coinbase could act funny bunny. I don't have any direct evidence to say they're nefarious or whatnot, but it seems like they always go down at a convenient time for them. Silver Crypto says buy the dip. And TJ says it's suspect. Yeah, it is suspect indeed. Oscar says this is a pullback. That's the question. You know, that's why I put a question mark on the title. Is this the dip? You know, yesterday, you know, a lot of people were saying that there is no dip. There's going to be no correction. We're on the path to 30K. Some were saying, you know, 20K. Some were saying we're 30K. Most people would agree that we were on the path to at least 15K, at least, including myself. I thought we were going to run up to close to $15,000 before pulling back to maybe 10 or 11 or 12 where we're at now. But it happened a little sooner. So I'm not surprised, guys. If you see gains of 15, 20, 25% in one day, you can expect at least, you know, 5-10% pullback at one point. Okay. At the end of the day, we're way up compared to where we were just a few weeks ago, you know. So there's a positive gain right now. Positive gain, indeed. Let's check out some of these articles and address what's going on. Let's look at some... Let's look at some of the reasons why it went down. Bitcoin drops 2,700 in hours. Bitcoin price analysis and overview following the violent correction, says Crypto Potato. This was expected, and I agree. This was expected. Following the phenomenal week, including the rise from 9,000 to almost 14K. I think we topped off at 13.8 without stopping by. Bitcoin bears stopped the train, at least for now. In a session of violent drops, Bitcoin marked nearly 11,200 at its current low. So it dropped down to 11.2 from about 13.8. Is this a change of momentum? Is this the bear market here again? In my opinion, says the author, no. The author is Yuval Gov. I have an article linked down below. Corrections are part of the way up, as mentioned already, especially to do that way healthy. So yeah, I do agree. It's healthy, the corrections here, even on the way up. So far, so good. Let's talk about some of the support and resistance that he identifies here. From below, Bitcoin went all the way down to 11.2. Yes, that was a recent resistant high from days ago. In case Bitcoin breaks further down, the bears should expect to see it retesting 10,600 before reaching 10,000. That was easily and quickly broken up. Further below is 9.8 and 9.4. So these are the current identified support levels at 11.2, which we bounced off at yesterday. There's another one at 10.6, another one at 10, 98 and 94, says this article. From above, now looking at the resistance, Bitcoin now faces that $12,170 area, 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level as the closest resistance zone. I agree, about 12.1 seems like a resistance right now. The next level is around 12.5 before reaching the $13,000 zone. Breaking the recent 2019 high at 13,880 would likely send Bitcoin to the 15K zone, since there's not much resistance along the way, including the next targets at 16.4, 16.6, and 17.4, which was January 7th, 2018's high. Then at 18, at 19.3, and 20K. I like this article. I seem to agree with this article here. So if you want to read the entire article, it goes into more depth, shows you some charts. Go ahead and link to it down below. It's written by Yuval Gov. If I'm mispronouncing that, excuse me. It's out of Crypto Potato. But to recap what he says, there is some resistance at the $11,200 level. Below that, it's 10.6. Then 10, 98, and 94. Those are the identified resistance. And then support. And then for the resistance, 12,000, 12,100, 12,500. And then once we hit the 13,000 zone, which would be the resistance would be the top that we experienced yesterday at 13.8. If we can crash through that, I believe we'll get to 15K soon. Let me check out some of these comments here in the population. Shout out to Colin. Welcome back, Colin. Shout out to Oscar Ruiz, Mark D, TJ. Queen says, in my eyes, this is a pullback. The doctor just checking in Bitcoin's heart rate, making sure he's ready for 20K. Yeah, it's a quick checkup, making sure he's healthy. I agree. A little pullback. And I expected this. I don't think anybody really was expecting. They were thinking we were going to go past 15, get to 20K. But, at some point we got to pull back. And I think it's a healthy pullback. I'll be honest. I like it better when things pull back a little bit and then they make a healthy run towards the all-time highs. If we would have shot to 20K, things were getting a little spooky there. If we would have gotten to 15, 16K without a pullback, it kind of throws me off. It gets a little spooky. And, I actually mentioned that before we pulled back after the broadcast yesterday. I was talking to someone. I was like, it's getting kind of spooky. You never know what could happen here. And then finally we saw a correction, which calmed me down a little bit. See the little calm, a little pullback. Things are behaving okay. It kind of normalized. And now I think we gained some energy. We rested a little bit and ready to skyrocket to 15K. Mark D says, did Coinbase go down because of the crash, or did the crash bring Coinbase down? Yeah, we don't know. TJ says, still no mass adopted crypto app to replace PayPal yet. No. Blockchain Susha says, you're right, Queens. It was $33 million sell orders on Coinbase Pro. Blockchain Susha says that seller should have sold that over the counter. He says, in his opinion, it was intentional. Biz Marti says, I called it yesterday. Yeah, I think you were one of the few that says, look out for a little pullback. And I was, I kept asking that question yesterday. I said, what do you think the pullback? Because I'm expecting one, since everybody was so bullish. I was like, well, I could see it maybe going to 15 and pulling back. But, it didn't even reach 15. It topped off at 13.8, which is all right. Oscar Ruiz says, you got to be realistic. Yeah, you have to be realistic. And I think some people throw realism out the box once the bull comes out. They get too much in a frenzy. Their erection gets too hard. I don't know what happened. It's like they're all on Cialis out there. But, look out for a little pullback, and it's okay. That's why you should always keep one in the chamber. Keep your storm shutters ready just in case it gets stormy out there. You want to be prepared. You want to have your water filters, your generators, your storm shutters, just in case, there's a little tornado out there, a little F3, F4, F5, just in case. You can, run for shelter and reload. Marvin's here. He says, another baby alt for you guys to put on the watch list. Nix brings privacy to exchanges, internet-connected DEX. Chico covered this yesterday. This may be another energy. So check out Nix. Marlon is scouting all the baby altcoins out there. Thank you, Marlon, for your, I'm not going to say recommendation, for your opinion. Okay. Because we're not anybody's daddies out here. So we're just giving out opinions. TJ says, yeah, Nix looks interesting. It's on KuCoin, says Marlon. Okay. Crypto Stack says, my messages got deleted. That's a shame. I didn't see that. Crypto Stack says, I bet a whale had 100x short on BitMEX. You never know with these whales. Blockchain Sushi out here with the emojis. Let's talk about more price predictions. This is out of FX Street. I have this link down below as well. Bitcoin price prediction. Bitcoin retreat to 10K. A confirmation for 15,000. This is the confluence detector. You can see here. Let me get to we can expect acute resistance to the move at 1212. Several indicators that converge here include SMA 215 minutes, SMA 50, 1 hour pivot point. Let me get to the point here. On the downside, the first, according to the confluence detector tools, lies at 11.7. The indicators that converge at this position from a confluence, they range. Hold on here. So they're saying Bitcoin also supports significantly at 11.5, 11.2, and 10.7. It's sort of similar to the other article. I think I kind of agree more with the other article. You guys want to check this. This has more of the technical indicators, and they kind of throw me off. So much of these technical indicators, the Fibonacci, the Bollinger Bands, and whatnot. The pivot points, guys. I'm not too into these. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's talk about some more price predictions. Here's a good one. UseTheBitcoin.com says Bitcoin could reach 20K next week and hit $100,000 by the end of the year, an analyst says. Could Bitcoin move to 20,000? with the rapid price increase that Bitcoin experienced a few hours ago and during the last days, there are many analysts that are thinking about what can happen with the most popular crypto. Simon Peters of the recognized brokerage eToro said that 20K is the next price target for Bitcoin. He says that if Bitcoin manages to maintain its current parabolic trajectory, it will be able to hit its previous all-time high at 20K within the next 2 weeks. He considers that last time that Bitcoin was 11.8, it took just 1 or 2 weeks for the virtual currency to hit 20K. At that time in 2017, the market was driven by FOMO and people were purchasing Bitcoin even with their savings. And that's true. So I think this is actually a possibility. I do agree with this. I think, I wasn't this bullish just like a month ago, but, things change. And according to the data we're seeing here in the sentiment worldwide here in the population of the chat box, I think 20K this summer is actually a possibility. I do think it's a possibility. We will see some peaks and valleys on the way there, but they're going to be short-lived if you ask me. It's still a possibility. Absolutely. Marlon says, I don't think this was a manipulation. Whale was probably testing the strength of buy pressure. That's possible, but you never know. There's all kinds of variables here. And I think Nano Joe mentioned this yesterday. You know that US dollar tether has been printed. I think they printed 400 million. I'm not sure. They're printing it out of thin air. And that tether could be used to pump Bitcoin. It's like they have free money to buy Bitcoin now. So, I think tether has a role in this. I think whales have a role in this. I think institutional FOMO has a role in this. I think it's a perfect storm for things to go above 20K. Isim says, what happened to EOS? I'm still holding the bags. I still got my baggie of EOS. I still like EOS. Shout out to that person that was talking about proof of stake coins. I forgot to mention EOS yesterday. I get what could be considered as some sort of a kickback for staking my EOS in the form of REX, the resource exchange token there on EOS. I like it. I still think that if any token is going to test Ether in the future, EOS is first in line. Mark D says, did the whale sell or just move the coins? I know the coins were moved to Coinbase. I don't know if they sold, but I would expect, I would assume some of them were sold. Blockchain Susha said he actually sold. There you go. And Marlon says, I would do the same, drop 100 million, sell to see if price drops below 10K, then buy 1 billion if it doesn't. Putting market to test to see if 20K is really possible. TJ said, EOS did me nice. There you go. Blockchain Susha says probably buying back in right now. He sold at the top. Yeah, so, this could be the dip. I don't think that we're going to experience like a long dip or think, these prices are going to move back up a lot faster than they did before. Right now, we're in the middle of a frenzy. It's a feeding frenzy right now. There is a lot of institutional FOMO, and yes, I do expect pullbacks. It could even pull back to 10K, even below 10K, but not before shooting back up. I think we are on the path to 20K this year. I would say that that's a strong possibility, and I'm happy to say that because just a few months ago, I thought that we would end the year still around 10K. Okay, but this has changed my opinion. You got to see what's going on, and it's definitely changed my opinion. Bitcoin could reach 20K next week and hit $100,000 by the end of the year. This is out of usethebitcoin.com. You can see Rand Nooner says last time 10 to 20K took 18 days. So last time it went over 10K, it went to 20K in just 18 days. Peters also explained that 50,000 or 100,000 could be seen for Bitcoin this year. That would represent a price increase of 756% from current levels. Peters is not the only expert that believes Bitcoin could eventually skyrocket to $100,000. Naeem Slam of Think Market said that as long as Bitcoin stays above the 242-day moving average, it might be possible for the digital asset to enter $60,000 to $100,000 range. In general, analysts tend to have a look at the 2 or 50-day moving averages rather than the 242-day moving averages. You could read the rest of the article. It's linked down below. Rand Nooner saying, reminding us, and this is true, once it crossed 10K, this price can move quickly. It can move quickly. It happened in 18 days May happen in a couple weeks now. We just don't know. Had some randomly before mainnet sold it on a charge, would have stayed in, but I don't know what token you're talking about, TJ. I think it was an EOS. Or are you talking about energy? And Marlon's talking about energy, but you told us yesterday you dumped the bags for some Satoshis. Are you buying back in, or what's going on out there? TJ was talking about EOS. Yeah, I like EOS. I think that, and I've said this before, EOS is not the token that many people expected it to be. It's not completely immutable. It's somewhat centralized with the 21 block producers. And, it's not Bitcoin, that's for sure. But I think that it has a lot of pros. And it certainly seems like it could compete against Ethereum. Shout out to TJ, Marlon, Blockchain Susha, and the rest of the boomers here. So I think that we all agree this is a dip. This is a dip. Will it dip even lower? It's a possibility. But, if you've been waiting on this. Lost audio. Oh, that's my bad. I had the microphone on mute here talking to myself. But yeah, is this the dip? I think this is a dip. Yes, I would say this is a dip. And for those that haven't been DCAing the entire year, which is dollar cost averaging, you should have been dollar cost averaging this entire year. Okay. Again, we're not anybody's crypto daddy, and we're not making any. We're not doing any advising here or anything like that. But it certainly seems like it would have been a good move. I would call this a dip. And, DCA is always not always, but usually a smart move. Marlon says he got a big bag of energy and he sold it for some Satoshis. Basically got all my Bitcoin investment back plus a little profit, about a quarter bit. Now about 16 energy and profits that I'm staking and baking. There you go. Jumping off. Shout out to Marlon. Marlon, you're not making any videos anymore? Always looking at these altcoins. You should be throwing a new video at us every day. I know it's tough with YouTube. But the secret with YouTube is consistency. You can't just do a couple good videos and then go ghost. You got to go like every day. You got to go hard every day, at least 1 or 2 videos a day. And, you got to be consistent. But I know that some of the boomers would be interested in looking at these baby altcoins. Federal Reserve and Trump are jumping on the crypto bandwagon, says Oscar Ruiz. And Colin says that's big news. Could you elaborate more on that? What exactly are you talking about? Because I would expect a digital Fed coin at some point. If Facebook wants to make a crypto, I think the governments are going to be in line right behind them. Shout out to Collins. Shout out to CryptoZilla, Marlon Jones, Oscar Ruiz, and the rest of the boomers out there. And I came across this other article, which was interesting to me. You know how I've been talking about Bitcoin being a global reserve currency. This is on Bitcoinist.com. It says, is Bitcoin being stockpiled as a reserve asset by a large nation? Definitely interesting to think about. Bitcoin has outperformed nearly every other traditional asset this year, says the article. And I would say that it will outperform all other asset classes within the next 5 or 10 years, if you ask me personally. With an epic surge of almost 270% in 2019, the FOMO has been palpable. Also something you could physically touch. Something huge could be driving it, like one nation including Bitcoin as a reserve asset, or it could just be the nature of things on crypto markets. There is no proof to support this, but someone tweeted, It was Alex Kruger over there on Bitcoin. He said, Bitcoin is trading as if a large nation were about to announce the inclusion of Bitcoin as a reserve asset. That's how bullish price action has been. The buying pressure during the Asian session was extraordinary. It's just an analogy, not saying that's the case, says Alex Kruger over there on Twitter. And, you know, whether this is true or not, it certainly seems like the populace, the people of the globe, are trading it now as what seems like as a reserve currency, if you ask me. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. You know, if you're not a terrorist or operating the dark webs, I don't think there's anything to be scared of. Ultimately, you know, if there's a government, there's going to be taxes. So, you know, give Caesar's what's Caesar's. So, you know, I don't think I don't think the majority of the boomers are trying to avoid taxes. But, you know, I know where you're coming from, Marlon. I'll take a few more comments and questions before I tune down the broadcast. I would say, yes, this is a dip. If you ask me, I think most of the boomers would agree. And DCA, dollar cost averaging, could be a strategy. It's a rumor that Trump has been talking to Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. Supposedly he's going to accept Ripple donation during his next campaign. Yeah, there you go. You know, Ripple, I've always said Ripple was a Trojan horse. And, you know, I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, the next level is not to own anything as an individual, says CryptoZilla. Yeah, you make a point. And Marlon says free college, free sex, free abortions, free healthcare. Your Bitcoin will pay for these things. Your Bitcoin will pay for these things with your Bitcoin. You will pay for these things with your Bitcoin, says Marlon. Yeah, you know, taxes. You know, if they let these commies in, these socialists out there, you know, they'll try to take everything. And the audio's back. My bad. I think I had this on mute again. But yeah, guys, maybe I'll do another video today about DTube. Shout out to a Main Event, one of our Steamosaurus, one of our crypto brothers there in the population of the chat box. DTube, that's been running on top of Steem. They're going to make their own, or they're making their own token, and they're going to fork off with their own blockchain. And you can still post to Steem and have it come up on DTube and vice versa. So this is an opportunity to also earn 2 tokens for posting for Steem and DTube. And what's cool is that you don't need to upload the video to DTube. You can link the YouTube video as well and still earn for a post on DTube. I'll probably do a whole video on that, but I'm excited about that. Make sure you check me out on DTube, on Steem, and all these crypto-friendly applications, guys. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and tune this broadcast down. I got plenty of things to handle here today, but I'll be back tomorrow with the good crypto word. Enjoy the dip out there, boomers. Hit the gym and stay strong out there. It's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's big cousin, cryptography's finest champagne. Thanks for tuning in.